We're so excited to have the gem of a human that is Wendy joining our cast. She guest starred in the first couple seasons, and now we have her on a regular basis. And, you know, you may ask how a convict can then become a prosecutor, but as long as she's on, like, the right cocktail of meds, she's stable enough to try a case, and her delicious crazy also pops out from time to time.
Crazy.
Georgie and Mandy's first marriage needs to address several key storylines when it returns in January 2025. The show, which picks up after the events of young Sheldon, has already set the stage with Georgie and Mandy's evolving relationship and their individual challenges. Key developments to look for include Missy's rebellious phase, which was mentioned in The Big Bang Theory, and should be explored more thoroughly. Additionally, Georgie's business ambitions, especially his transition from Jim's auto shop to building his Dr. Tire empire, need further exploration. Mandy's career aspirations, which were a focal point in young Sheldon, should also be revisited as she works toward her dream job. The relationship between Georgie and Mandy's mother, Audrey, needs to continue evolving, with Audrey acknowledging Georgie's positive qualities. Finally, a potential visit from Sheldon could offer a much-needed link to young Sheldon, helping close that chapter while paving the way for the show's future. 5 things that need to happen in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage when CBS Young Sheldon replacement comes back. The first part of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage perfectly helped its characters transition from young Sheldon into a different setting, but continuing first marriage needs some things to happen to fully push the story forward. Despite most of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's characters coming from young Sheldon, the sitcom's first episodes were crucial in setting the scene to tell a different story, as the focus effectively moved from the socially inept genius and the Coopers to Georgie, Mandy, and the McAllisters. With young Sheldon ending brutally with George Sr.'s death and funeral, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage had to focus on its aftermath. This meant various young Sheldon characters needed to pop up in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage season 1 even more than in a regular spin-off to smooth the transition from young Sheldon's tragedy to first marriage's more upbeat tone. However, with the transition now completed, some storylines need to be tackled and some characters need to appear once Georgie and Mandy's first marriage returns. Missy's dumb teenager phase as described in Big Bang Theory. Missy's rebellion was first established in The Big Bang Theory Season 11, Episode 23 when Georgie discussed what really happened in the aftermath of George Sr.'s death with Sheldon. Georgie's description was harsh, dubbing Missy's reaction as her dumb teenager phase, and while part of it could already be seen in Young Sheldon Season 6, Missy's biggest exploits belong to the period after George Sr.'s death, which corresponds to Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's timeline. Given how affected Georgie still seemed in TBBT by the events in the aftermath of George Sr.'s death, Missy's shenanigans will need to appear more often in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage to really drive the message. Missy appearing in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage episodes 2 and 5 gave audiences a taste of what Georgie meant in Big Bang Theory Season 11. However, despite presenting a very different Missy Cooper, Missy's brief appearances in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Season 1 aren't enough to describe Missy's most turbulent moment in life. Given how affected Georgie still seemed in TBBT by the events in the aftermath of George Sr.'s death, Missy's shenanigans will need to appear more often in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage to really drive the message. Georgie expanding even more Jim's auto shop. The Young Sheldon spin-off has yet to explain how Georgie will build his Dr. Tire empire that existed in Big Bang Theory, although Georgie and Mandy's first marriage might have revealed how Georgie gets rich. While disclosing what brings Georgie to transform from the young man he is in Young Sheldon to the seasoned entrepreneur he is in TBBT can take first marriage entire seasons, the storyline should be expanded even more in Season 1. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Season 1 already showed Georgie's business acumen, which could be seen from his constant proposals to Jim about ways to improve what goods and services they offered at Jim's auto shop. Georgie's idea to put the tow truck back in operation already showed great success, but Georgie and Mandy's first marriage has yet to reveal whether Georgie's future Dr. Tire stores start from Jim's shop or are an entirely new venture. Given its importance, first marriage Season 1 should progress that storyline. Mandy returning to her career and dream job. Mandy's career has already been a contentious topic in Young Sheldon, as Georgie wished for her to focus on their family while she still wanted a career. Their fight eventually resolved in the best way possible as it led to Georgie being supportive, but given the centrality of her career in Mandy's life, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage should pick up where young Sheldon left off and show Mandy's return to the job she loved. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 slightly explored Mandy's wish to build back her career. Between Mandy's job as a waitress and Audrey's multiple comments about wanting her daughter not to settle with a dead-end job, First Marriage already expanded young Sheldon's storyline. However, considering Mandy's drive to go and try for interviews despite repetitive failures, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 should also get her back on the right path for Mandy to build her career again, especially given how important it seems to her. Audrey acknowledging Georgie's good qualities. Audrey never hid her disapproval of Mandy choosing to marry Georgie, no matter how happy having Cece as a granddaughter made her. The storyline was a constant in young Sheldon when Audrey negatively commented on Georgie's every action, but it is also visible in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, where she doesn't treat him the same way she does others. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Episode 7 ending with Audrey unsettled by the knowledge that even Connor deems Georgie a good person and is happy with his involvement in his life hints at the young Sheldon spin-off tackling this storyline soon. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage inevitably set up Audrey's dissatisfaction with Georgie being part of their family as a key conflict, but the young Sheldon spin-off also made great strides forward to patch up Audrey and Georgie's bond. Georgie's good qualities are visible to Audrey in First Marriage Episode 3 at last, but Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage's second part needs to go further than that, especially given how important Georgie became to the rest of the McAllisters beyond Mandy, like his bond with Jim and Connor proved. Sheldon visiting Texas, Georgie and their family. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage was often accused of being the continuation of young Sheldon without its inept genius titular character, but its episodes' different focus and atmosphere slowly proved that not to be the case. However, Sheldon's absence now looms large in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, especially considering how he is Georgie's younger brother and has never appeared in the young Sheldon spin-off, despite all of Georgie's family doing so. Relying too much on Sheldon would be a mistake for Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, but the sitcom's first part proved that not to be the case. Given Sheldon's prolonged absence, it's time for the socially inept genius to come back to Medford and see Georgie settle into his new life, even just for once, to finally close the door on young Sheldon while also paving the way for Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's hopefully steady. Kaylee Cuoco's recent comments about reprising her role as Penny from The Big Bang Theory have made the flash-forward scene in the young Sheldon finale feel more frustrating. While the finale provided a satisfying conclusion to Sheldon's childhood, it missed the opportunity to feature Penny, who played a significant role in Sheldon's life in the original series. Though young Sheldon referenced Penny, it only mentioned her briefly, which many fans felt was a missed chance